About 5 years ago, I made a trip into Washington, D.C. with my wife to meet a couple of friends. And we toured the entire area of Capitol Hill, went in and out of the Capitol building and many other tourist attractions. But we also got to see a lot of things that maybe the average person doesn't get to see as far as places. And I found myself very disturbed, if you will, when I looked around and I saw our history and all of the quotations from our founding fathers and just everything that is just so prominent and evident there in the Capitol building and beyond. And I found a couple of things happening to me. One is I got a big burden for our nation, and it became evident to me that we were far from the things we were founded upon. And it really crushed my heart. And ever since then, that burden has intensified, it has grown, and at the same time, I've thought, well, what can I do? You know, I'm just one guy, and I live in a little town in Ohio. At the same time, as that burden grew, I began to feel like, well, I can do something. I can at least be part of a solution to our great state and our great nation. And so it's because of that I come here today. And I say, by the grace of God, with the support of my wife, my family, my church, and fellow Ohioans, I begin my campaign today to represent the people of the great state of Ohio's 96th district in our state legislature. I'm honored that so many have encouraged me to seek this office at such a difficult moment in our state's and nation's history. And as I look into the eyes of many people that are even here today, whom I have known throughout my life, I'm reminded of something the great President Abraham Lincoln said. I quote him, "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, we must think anew and act anew. We must disenthrall ourselves, and then we shall save our country." Today in Ohio and across America are people who have been disenthralled with the broken promises of government over the years, yet they have found new hope in Americans who are stepping forward to serve the public. President Donald Trump is the best example of those of us who choose to think anew and act anew. And before I say another word, I must confess, this is my first campaign and my first run for public office. I'm not an experienced politician. My experience is as a pastor, a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, a role in which I've served God, but also have served people for the last 15 years. For many that are even here today, I have stood with you on the best days of your life, weddings, baptisms, baby dedications, and more. But I've also been there for your worst days, deaths in the family, the loss of a job, personal financial crises, and even struggles with drug and alcohol addictions. I cherish every minute of those 15 years, and I have not emerged from that experience empty-handed. More than anything, those years of experience have taught me how to serve and help meet the very needs of people. Now, I want to bring that firsthand experience that I encountered firsthand as an eyewitness to another level and serve the people of our 96th district here in Ohio. I want to advocate public policy solutions that will lift up people who have been ignored and protect children, the elderly, and others who require our protection, not through handouts and well-meaning subsidies, but with real solutions that work, jobs, new industries, and policies which strengthen our communities and make our lives much safer. Innovative energy production and a wealth of resources, including a very ready supply of hardworking men and women ideally situate and populate our region to lead both Ohio and America on this monumental issue of energy. This region is comprised of very tough, resilient, hardworking people who are products of dedicated, steel-nosed people that originally built and prospered our towns and communities all throughout this district. And like those that went before them, such people that are here today can and will take the lead in reviving these towns and communities even now. I believe we need to pay attention to the most pressing human conditions among our people, specifically drug and alcohol addiction. As a minister, I have gotten more than once the dreaded phone calls from a mother or a father who had come home maybe in the middle of the night only to find their son or their daughter unresponsive on the floor and even with a needle sticking out of their arm. I've gotten those calls. I've buried those addicts. I've cried and grieved with those parents. And I, for one, am sick of seeing those reports, especially in this area. As a former alcoholic myself who has overcome by the power of God many years ago, I believe we need to work together to find solutions and to help people in that predicament today. I believe we need to even incentivize medical innovations like Narcan, which literally saves the lives of overdose victims with just a simple injection. We need to recapture some areas of our region where good, honest, hardworking parents are struggling to raise their children, competing with drug dealers and gangs for the future of our children. Children are our greatest resource. They're our hope, our future, and we must invest in that resource. We must fight for their future here. I believe we need to return public schools to the control of parents and the public while finding constitutional strategies for helping parents and children who homeschool or attend private schools. The great Buckeye State of Ohio has long been ignored, and for far too long, our 96th district has been forgotten. Nonetheless, I, for one, am filled with great hope and optimism, and I'm determined to make our district forgotten no more. So during the coming weeks, I ask you to join me and help add my new voice to the policy debate in Columbus and across America. I need your support, and I'm asking for that today. I need that support. I need your prayers. I need whatever financial contribution you can afford to help fund this campaign to be your voice as a state representative. Most importantly, I do need your vote. You will get 2 opportunities to vote for me, but not on the same day like they do in Chicago. The first opportunity will be in the Republican Party primary on May 8th. Please make sure you are registered in the Republican Party by April 9th so that you can vote on that very important primary. The second opportunity you will have to vote for me will be in the general election on November 6th. So I'm asking you today, please join me as we work together to make Ohio and America great again. Thank you, and God bless you.